I'm back. All right, I'm back. Picking up shipments. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes for some other people to join us, and then we're gonna talk about this Mercury retrograde that we are officially starting today. It's going to last the next 3 weeks or so. So it should end June 22nd. And we are going to talk about how we can actually make the best of this period, because I think Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap, and it's actually not. It's actually a really positive period. You just have to learn how to use the energy. Hey, Miss Sandra. Yeah, so it's all about using the energy. I personally don't believe that there is necessarily negative when it comes to astrology. I more or less believe that you have more challenging aspects, but everything is there to teach us something. So once you learn how to work with the energy as opposed to working against it, you can actually use it to your benefit. And I believe that the Mercury retrograde period is an awesome tool. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Talk about how this period is going to affect each one of us, because it definitely affects us differently. There's some things that are just general, but there's also things that will affect us individually. So we have the collective, and how, what Mercury retrograde does with the collective, and then what it does with the individual. We're going to talk about some things that may come up for you, and what will be the best course of action to make those things work for you. Now, what we're talking about today is going to be based on your rising sign. And but you can also listen for your sun sign and your moon sign, but your rising sign is like your prominent sign. That's the first energy that's like the energy that is currently going on with you, and things that are going on around you and you're being affected by. Your sun sign is the next thing, because that's more of your just your basic personality, and then the moon sign is your internal, what is going on internally for you. So it would be best if you know your rising sign. Now, you can find that out by going to, there's like a million online astrology sites that you can go to and plug your information in, and they can tell you your rising sign. What you'll have to have is, though, you will need to have your exact birth time in order to there. Astro charts, you can go there, and I think Cafe Astrology, I'm not really sure. You can go there and get your rising sign. But what you could do is, the best way to find out is, you can schedule a personal reading with me, and I can get you not only your rising sign, but we can talk about things that are in your birth chart and what is going on for you and what is coming up for you in the next few months. So that's a shameless plug on my personal services. So if you're interested in having a personal reading, inbox me. But in the meantime, if you want to go and if you know your birth time and you want to get your rising sign now, do that. Like I said, astro.com, astro charts, and I think Cafe Astrology can help you out with that, because that's going to be very important in you knowing how to navigate this next 3 weeks. So I need someone to tell me, is my connection good? Because I'm doing this from my computer, and sometimes my connection is not good on live from my computer. If it's not, then I'll just have to switch to my phone. So let me know if the connection is good or if it's, I think it's shutting down. I think the connection is bad. But let me know if the connection is good. If not, I can move this. I can use my phone to do this. But I want to know what it looks like on your end, because of course on my end it looks fine. So let me know. And then we're going to get started. And then we are going to get started. So again, if the connection is bad, can someone tell me so I can switch to my phone? If not, we will keep going using my computer. Okay, well, I guess it's a good connection. So we're just gonna move on. Okay, so every now and then it freezes. Okay, we're going to stick with the computer for now. If it gets any worse, just tell me, and then I'll switch to my phone. So anyway, Mercury Retrograde. Does everyone know what Mercury Retrograde is? Does everyone know what that is? But I'll explain it anyway. Okay, so Mercury Retrograde. I know that you hear things about it, and you know, and you kind of know some information about it and this, that, and the other. But basically what it is all of the planets have a period where they go into retrograde. All of the planets do it. But Mercury is one of the more popular planets that when Mercury goes into retrograde, you really feel that energy. So that's why you always hear about Mercury retrograde. But in actuality, all the planets have a retrograde period, except for the sun and the moon. Okay? So, retrograde. It said that the planet starts to move backwards and all of that. Okay. But in essence, it really does not move backwards. There's no such thing as a planet moving backwards. What actually happens is when a planet goes into retrograde, it slows down to the point of it appears to be moving backwards simply because it has slowed down its regular orbit and the planets around it are still moving at the pace that they normally do, which gives the illusion that the planet is moving backwards. But it's not really moving backwards, it's just slowed down. And when a planet slows down, it is not working at its 100% capacity. So it's not working fully as it should. So Mercury is a planet that governs communication. It governs the third house of the zodiac. In astrology, we have 12 houses, which represent 12 areas of our life. And Mercury governs the third house of communication. So this encompasses everything with regards to communication. So this encompasses how we speak, how we communicate with others, how we think, how we learn, how we process information. It governs our correspondence. So that means letters, the mail, emails, anything we use to communicate with another person, with the collective, anything. It governs writing, publishing. It governs media. It governs transportation. Falls in under the category of what Mercury governs. So this includes, the cars that we drive, airplanes, all modes of transportation are governed by this planet. So it is a very, very important planet because we can't do anything in life without communication. So think about this planet Mercury governs all of this communication stuff, and it decides to slow down. So everything that it has to do with that it governs slows down in the process. And it becomes sometimes very confusing. Things don't work as they should because you don't have the energy or the support from Mercury in its full capacity. So this is why during the Mercury retrograde, you will see an increase of accidents. You have an increase of motor vehicle accidents. You have an increase of all types of accidents that are transportation related. A lot of times when you have accidents with regards to motor vehicles, it's simply because people aren't paying attention. Okay, a lot of times during the Mercury retrograde, we don't pay attention. We get distracted easily during this time. So you'll see an increase in accidents. You'll see an increase in accidents by way of just your physical self, again, because you are not paying attention. You will also see during a Mercury retrograde, you lose things a lot. There's a lot of confusion with regards to the mail system. So I think my cousin earlier was telling me about how she was having a problem with receiving a package. You will see a lot of delays and losing things with regards to the mail during this time. What else? During a Mercury retrograde, communication is not the best. The spoken word, conversations we have with people, it could manifest itself in the way that what you're saying is not what the person is hearing. Your message is not very clear. Now, you may be under the impression that you are making yourself clear, but the other person may not be understanding it. And a lot of times people can have a conversation and walk away hearing two different variations of that conversation. Okay, so communication gets really, really poor during this time. Also, because this planet governs contract negotiation. This is why you'll always hear, do not sign any type of contracts during this time. Because, for example, you could sign a contract and some way down the line, a little bit later, you may come back and you reread that same contract, and you notice that you missed some very important information in there, or your understanding of what you thought you read is not what was actually in the conversation. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Okay. I'm back. So, again, yes, we always advise during the Mercury retrograde, do not sign any contracts, because more than likely what you thought you read or what you thought you agreed to is not what actually was in that contract. Another thing that you should be mindful of, just going into any types of agreements with other people during this time is not something that you would recommend during a Mercury retrograde. Also, on the lines of agreements, starting a brand new relationship is not always the best thing to do during this energy, because a lot of times going into a relationship, and I'm gonna just say a romantic relationship, starting a brand new romantic relationship with someone is not in your best interest during this time, because this is a temporary energy. This is an energy that's very, it's not an energy of something that is long lasting. So you could start a brand new relationship during the Mercury retrograde, and more than likely by the end of it, it's probably over, or at some point during that relationship, you figure out that this is probably not the best thing that you should have done, and it kind of ends. So starting new relationships is not it's not ideal. It is not ideal. It's just a lot of delays and slowdowns and things of that nature. You have to have a lot of patience during this time. So, that is kind of like a general overview of what this period could bring you by way of the challenges that this could bring. So far, do we have any questions about the challenges of a Mercury retrograde? Because it's not all bad. It's really not. It's actually a very good energy to be under if you know how to work with it. So I'm going to pause for a little bit. Does anyone have any questions about the challenges of the Mercury retrograde before we go into what it's good for? Because it's good for something. No? Okay. All right, so no questions. Good. So now we're going to talk about what this Mercury retrograde is actually good for. Because I've given you a list of things that it's not good for, but here's some things that it is good for. Now, retrograde, the slowing down of the planet. This is the time where you have the opportunity to slow down and reassess things that are going on in your life, because if you govern your life in constant motion, and it is constantly going and going and going and going, and you never have the time to stop and reflect or relax or just re-energize yourself, you can burn yourself out. Also, with your life in constant motion, you are not giving yourself the opportunity to stop and to look at your life and see where you may potentially be missing opportunities that could be good for you, because you never take the time just to stop and think. So a Mercury retrograde, or any type of retrograde, is the universe's gift of telling you or allowing you to slow down and reflect and relax and reconnect and recharge. You kind of see that theme of So what a retrograde is good for is going back. Going back. In particular, with a Mercury retrograde, some examples of positive things that can happen during this time are, I don't know if this is a positive or if this may actually be a challenge for some people, but during a Mercury retrograde, people from our past show up. Yeah, people from our past show up. So that could mean old friends, exes are notorious for showing up during a Mercury retrograde. I don't know why, but exes are notorious for showing up during the Mercury retrograde. And even if it's not an actual person that shows up, you may just start to think about people from the past, people that you've lost a connection with, people that you haven't talked to in a long time. And it may prompt you to reach out to them. Or, like I said, you may actually run into these people, or they may reach out to you. And like I said, exes are notorious for showing up during a Mercury retrograde. Now, I have a personal belief that during a Mercury retrograde and an ex shows up, I have a personal belief that that is the universe testing you to see if you still stupid. That's just me. Now, that may not be true, but for me, I feel like the universe is like sending somebody back to you as an ex to see if you are still stupid. Now, this could also be a good thing, because if you guys broke up for a mutual reason, just say at the time that you were dating, it wasn't going well for either one of you, or it was bad timing in both your lives, and this person shows back up, you can reconsider whether or not you want to start the relationship again. That is solely up to you. But again, this is the universe giving you the opportunity to figure out, do you want to return to this person? Do you want to reconnect with this person? And this could also be friends too. So it's solely up to you. Now, if you ask me, let them keep it moving. But you have to, decide that for yourself. But exes show up, old friends show up. Again, even if they don't show up, you may start to think about them, yada, yada, yada. Now, another opportunity you can definitely take advantage of during a Mercury retrograde is anything that you've initiated before And it has to be something that you've initiated before. It cannot be brand new, but it has to be something you initiated before. You can very well go back into whatever that is. Let's say, for instance, because I've had this happen to me before. Say, for instance, you interviewed for a new job some months ago, or a year or so ago, or whatever the time frame was, and you did not get the position. I've had it where during a Mercury retrograde, that same job that I interviewed for whatever reason, the candidate that they chose didn't work out, and they came back and asked me to reconsider whether or not I would take the position. Things like that happen during a Mercury retrograde. Opportunities that you thought you missed prior could come back around. Now, you can definitely take advantage of that. That's because that's not something that is brand new. That was something that was initiated before. So any opportunities that you missed before for whatever reason could very well show up again, and you have the opportunity to decide whether or not you want to take advantage of them. Another good thing is if you have had creative projects that you initiated and you could not, for whatever reason, get off the ground, they just did not work, and you kind of just decided to just let it go. Look at those projects now during a Mercury retrograde, because this is great energy for you being able to re-examine that project, and you can look at it differently, and more than likely you can come up with a way of reworking that project, and it could probably be successful at that time. What's another good one for a Mercury retrograde? Mercury retrograde is great for going on a retreat. Going somewhere where you are just not doing anything, that you are resting, you are renewing yourself, and just relaxing. This is great for going on a vacation. Well, if you decide to go on a vacation, try to plan it as much as possible and be very patient with yourself, because you still could encounter delays or something. So be very flexible. But this is great for you, just even if you don't want to go anywhere, just deciding that you want to take some time and maybe isolate yourself away from family and all that you have going on, and just slowing down and renewing yourself is great for a Mercury retrograde. I love this. I love this period. I love it. It happens about a retrograde happens about 3 times a year. It happens in a different sign each time. Now, so everybody gets a dose of Mercury retrograde in their particular sign at some point. Now, there are certain signs that feel this Mercury retrograde regardless of what sign it is. And I'm going to tell you, because there's 4 signs that the Mercury retrograde affects them regardless of whether or not it's in their sign or not. So you may want to make note of this if this is you. The Mercury retrograde always feels different for Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. These are the 4 signs that every time a Mercury retrograde comes around, they feel it. But they know this energy. And the reason they know how this energy works is because Gemini and Virgo, Mercury is their ruling planet. Every sign has a ruling planet. And Gemini and Virgo share Mercury. So it's not, I always feel like that they do a Mercury retrograde better than other people, because it's their energy and they know how to work with it. The other 2 signs, which is Pisces and Sagittarius, Sagittarius is actually ruled by Jupiter, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune. But the reason why they feel the Mercury retrograde each time is because um, Sagittarius is the opposite sign to Gemini, and Pisces is the opposite sign to Virgo. So anytime something is happening with your opposite sign, it's typically happening with you. So they feel this energy on the strength of the fact that they are the opposite sign of those of Virgo and Gemini. So they understand this energy. Now they don't understand this energy as much as Virgo and Gemini understands it, but it's when Mercury retrograde comes around, it's not a shock to them. They know they know how to maneuver through it a little bit better than most. But this particular Mercury retrograde is actually in the sign of Gemini. It's in the sign of Gemini. So, of course, if you are a Sagittarius, you are feeling this. If you're a Virgo, you're feeling this. If you're a Pisces, you're feeling this. But we are all collectively feeling this energy. Now, how it breaks down. I've given you how Mercury retrograde works for the collective, for everyone. But it also works on an individual level per the zodiac sign. And it's going to show up differently for each sign. You remember when at the beginning of the video I told you in astrology there are 12 houses and they represent 12 areas in our life. So Mercury is in the retrograde motion. So Mercury is going to be in a different house depending on the sign. So that means Mercury is going to be doing something different depending on what the house is. And this is why it's so important for you to know your rising sign, because how it affects you. Again, you can listen for your sun sign, you can listen for your moon sign, and that'll give you a general idea. But if you want to know specifically how could play out for you, you need to know your rising sign. So I'm going to pause right there and ask if anyone has any questions or you want me to go back over something you may have missed. Now, I'm not going to go back over everything. You're just going to have to get it in the replay. But if you have a question, I could take it now and try to give you an answer. And then after that, we are going to go into how this retrograde is going to affect you individually and how you can maneuver through it and make it work for you. So does anyone have any questions so far? I have people watching this when nobody's saying anything. And let me know if the connection is still good or if I need to switch to my phone. Let me know if the connection is still good. I think I don't know. I can't tell from my end. I can only, it looks fine on my end, but it may not look like that for you. So let me know if it's still a good connection. Again, if you want to get your rising sign so you'll know exactly what this Mercury retrograde is going to feel like for you, you can go to astro.com or astro charts or cafe astrology, you will need your exact birth time. It is very important in astrology that you have the birth sign, the birth time correct, because that gives you the snapshot of where every planet was. And I don't know if you guys know this, every planet makes up who you are. So that's why you'll meet someone that's, say for instance, you're an Aries and you meet another Aries, and you meet them and you're like, you don't act like an Aries, because the sun sign is your basic personality. All the planets make up who you are. So there's never going to be two Aries that are alike, or two Geminis, or two Sagittarians that are alike. It's because the planets were doing something totally different at the time of your birth. And that's why it's so important to know the correct birth time, because this gives you a snapshot of who you are. It gives you the blueprint of who you are, the experiences you may have in your life, how you relate, how you move through life, how you make decisions, what you look like, how many times you'll be married, how many children you'll have. Your experience is there. People really don't believe it. You can find out all that. You can find out all of that with astrology. So knowing your birth time is very, very important. Actually makes a difference. Makes a big difference. Hey, Miss Kim. Well, I'm so glad that I was on point. I try to be. I try to be. I try to interpret it as best that I can, and give you accurate information for you to use. Again, astrology is a tool. It's a tool for you. Um, and what I like about it is it gives you the information um, as a way of a roadmap, as helping you through life. I'm a firm believer in, at the end of the day, we all have free will to do what we want and to change what we want. I use astrology to give me a roadmap as to, what is coming up for me, whether it's a beneficial or whether it's a challenge. It gives me the opportunity to be able to course correct and be able to take advantage of certain things if I know that this is coming up, or I may experience something that looks like this. So I kind of know how to handle it when I'm in the situation. I'll put it that way. So, okay, so I'm going to assume that you guys know your rising sign, and we are going to breeze through these 12 zodiacs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to breeze through these. You can take notes. I'm going to leave this video up so you can go back and look at it. But I'm going to just give you some general information on what could possibly be coming towards you during this retrograde period. Now, okay, I also forgot to tell you this. Even though the retrograde started officially today, the 29th of May, and it officially ends on June the 22nd, there is what we call a shadow period. There is a pre-shadow period before the retrograde and a post-shadow period after it stops. This is a 2-week window that you start to feel something is changing. So the pre-shadow period started May the 15th. So some of you may have already started to feel the effects of the Mercury retrograde as early as May the 15th and in that 2-week window. Now, the Mercury retrograde ends June the 22nd. So you still have until about July the 7th of the post shadow. So during the post shadow, you still have that Mercury retrograde energy. I would say if you could put off still making any types of major decisions or purchases during that time. Kind of, if you could push it out past the 7th, you'll be good. Also, I forgot one thing. During the Mercury retrograde, it is not good to make major purchases. It is really not good. For example, buying a car, buying a big ticket item, buying anything that has mechanical working parts to it, electronics, a car, anything that you're going to, because it's probably not going to go well. It's not going to go well. You may purchase a new car and you end up purchasing a lemon. You find it out it's a lemon. I ended up buying a TV during the Mercury retrograde, and I had to take it back because I took it out of the box and the whole screen. I don't know how sometimes when you doing the transit of a TV, if you push too hard on the screen, it makes a black spot in this. Whatever. I purchased the TV and I knew I shouldn't purchase the TV, and I end up having to take it back. So just keep. Don't do that. Now, life is life. Life is life. If you have to, you just have to. But I would just say, be as diligent as you can with your purchase. Be as diligent as you can with any type of. This could actually come back around and you have to redo this whole thing and whatever. But anyway, let's talk about how this is going to affect us individually, and we're going to go by the sun sign. We're going to go by the signs. So this again is based on your rising sign. So hopefully you know it. If you don't, listen for your sun sign, but you really need your rising sign. Okay, so where's my little notes? All right, I got my notes here. So we're going to start with first things first, Aries rising. Aries rising. The Mercury retrograde is going to be in your 3rd house. So this is actually just going to be in your communication house. Okay. So this will look like you having a breakdown with how you communicate, your message, people misunderstanding what you're saying to them. Okay. Again, like we talked about, you're saying one thing and thinking you're getting person heard. So we have a miscommunication with you. This could also be contract negotiations. Again, my Aries rising, I would strongly suggest that you not sign anything during this period, because this falls in the 3rd house of communications and contract negotiations, things of that nature. If you can push this off until mid-July, or at least after the 1st week of July, this will be better for you. This will also be an energy of those of you that have siblings, because the 3rd house governs our siblings, our extended family, our neighbors. This may be increased communication with your siblings, your extended family, your neighbors. But again, this communication may be what you're trying to talk about may get lost in the sauce with them. And you need to be just careful on what it is you're saying during this period. This is also the house of short distance travel. So if some of my Aries risings are planning a short distance trip, I consider short distance travel anything that does not require a passport. But a lot of this is geared towards road trips. But try to plan that trip as good as possible. Again, this is life. I'm not telling you to shut your life down completely. I'm just telling you to try to be meticulous as you can, but please just know that you got to be patient. So your road trips, making sure that before you hit the road in your car, that early, because this may be delays, trouble getting to the airport, things of that nature with that. So it's all about your communication, Aries rising. Now, you could actually benefit from this with anything that you started before. within the realm of communications. So, any opportunities that you've had prior, again, that did not pan out, this would be a good time for you to go over those. If you guys are currently in any type of contracts, I would say going over your contracts to see if you can renegotiate a better deal on something you signed off on before. Um, I would say that would be good for you. So yeah, that's my Aries rising. Taurus rising. This Mercury retrograde is going to be in your second house. The second house is the house of earned income. This is how we make our money. This is our material possessions, our value system. So this looks like this may be an energy of something with regards to how you earn your money. Now, this could look like if you have a stream of income, it may come into attention that it dries up. So let me put it this way. This is the earned. This is money we earn. So this could be if you're, for example, a business owner. Let's say you're a business owner, and this may be affecting your clientele. The number of customers that you are normally used to may not be coming into, or the services that you give, you may hit a stall in that particular business. This could also be something with regards to your job. Now, I hate to be doom and gloom, but sometimes with a Mercury retrograde in your second house, this could end a stream of income that you are dependent on. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That I'm not saying that it's a definite, but it could possibly do this. Now, this also is the house of material possessions. You're right. We're gonna get Sagittarius. Oh, child, yeah, we're gonna get the Sagittarius. Good. So this could end a stream of income for you. This could put some challenges on your how you earn your money. This is the house of material possessions. So I would definitely suggest yelling another one. Don't go buy anything that's big ticket item either, because that may be a problem. But this could be used for a period because our value system is there. You need to really look at and go in and reassess what you value in your life. Because this is the second house and it's ruled by Taurus, which is a money sign, sometimes your values with regards to where you place money on your value system, you need to relook at that and making sure that you're not valuing money, or you're not attaching your self-worth to what you earn or what you own, is going to be good for you. You have communications issues. Okay. Okay, so that's Taurus rising. Now, this could be, on the flip side, a beneficial thing. Your desire to develop more streams of income for yourself. So if you were one of those people that thought about at some point wanting to start your own business, start to look into the possibility of starting your own business. Also, this is good for those that are in, the workforce. Going in and talking to your boss about moving up in the company, or a potential raise for you. It's time for a renegotiation of your worth at the company. So this would be good for that type of projects with regards to Taurus rising. Gemini rising, this is in your first house. So this is all about you. Again, Gemini knows this energy. Gemini risings know this energy. They're not foreign to it, so they know how this works. But it's in your first house, and this is the house of your personality, your identity. This is how, your energy that you give off and how the world sees you. So some things that could come up for you is definitely people returning to your life, reconnection with people returning to your life. It is up to you whether or not you want to engage in these relationships again. This is also going to be a time for you to do a self-improvement type of project for yourself. Reassessing yourself. This may look like you restarting a self-improvement process, maybe a weight loss journey or a weight gain journey, whatever your situation is. Reassessing your image and how people see you in the world is going to be good for you during this time. Okay. How you are showing up in the world is very important. The face that you're putting forward and just figuring out who you are at this time is going to be something for you, Gemini rising. And again, you're going to get a lot of probably people coming back into your lives and a lot of opportunities that you thought you missed before could resurface. So it's up to you whether or not you want to take advantage of that, Gemini rising. Cancer rising, this is going to be in your 12th house. And this is the house of spirituality. This is the house of our healing. This is the house of our traumas, addictions. And this is also the house of specialized populations. So that could be people in hospitals, institutions, rehabs, prisons. So specialized population is there. So this could look like, because it's a Mercury retrograde, this could bring up past traumas for you. This could bring up things that you thought that you had buried or you had dealt with regards to your healing or traumas. This could come back up again for you and requiring you to actually really deal with it this time, which is a good thing. This could be a good thing because a lot of times we sometimes feel like we have healed from a situation when in fact we haven't healed. We just kind of like pushed it down and didn't think about it. So this may be a time where those types of things come up for you. This could also be, because this is a house of hidden things, you could be learning some information about something that's been withheld from you that you did not know about. Or this could go in the direction of if you have been withholding something or working behind the scenes on a project, or, maybe you've been in a secret relationship. This may be a time that this actually comes up and comes out. You may be hearing from someone in a specialized population group. Like I said, this could be someone that is confined in a hospital or an institution or even a prison. You may hear from someone Cancer rising in that effect. But this is great for, now this is ideal for Cancer risings. What I was talking about, the people that can take a retreat or kind of like isolate themselves or detach themselves from the world and do some real soul searching about themselves. This is great for Cancer risings to do healing work, soul searching work, things of that nature would be great for Cancer risings right now. They could actually make a breakthrough at this time with regards to their mental health, their traumas. If you have any type of addictions, this is great for those people that are suffering from addictions to go in and find some type of assistance and addressing those traumas in their life. Okay, Leo rising, this is going to be in your 11th house, and this is going to be all about your friends, your social groups that you are a part of. Technology is here. And also, this is the house of your long-term goals. So for you, this could look like a definite reappearance of friends, reconnection with friends. Now, as I said before, it does not necessarily mean Well, it could. It could go by way of you actually hearing from these people, running into these people. But even if you don't, this could be like a thing of you just thinking about your friendships, people that you haven't talked to in a long time, haven't interacted with. This is good for friends that you've had a falling out with, and maybe you want to, maybe you're kind of like rethinking about the whole falling out, and you're discovering that it wasn't really as big of a deal as you thought it was, and you want to actually reconnect with that person because you actually miss their friendship. That could be a thing that comes up with you. um, Social groups that you may have been a part of, this could be either returning to those groups or reassessing whether or not the groups that you have made yourself a part of, do they still resonate with who you are? um, do they still do they still align with who you are? So the reassessment of the groups that you attach yourself to is very important. Now, this is also the house of long-term goals. So this is going to be great for you, Leo rising, to get in and review your long-term goals. Are they still a priority for you? Are you still on the path of these goals? Or are these goals antiquated? Like you don't even really want to do this anymore. So this is great for you reassessing your goals. Not starting anything new, but making sure that what you've set out for yourself, does it still resonate with you? Does it still work for you? And because this is a house, is a house also of technology. If you are in a technology based career, or your business is attached to technology, this will be the time for you to review whether or not the technology that you're using for your business or for work or whatever it is, it still works for what you are doing, and whether or not you need to change it, upgrade it, or make it look differently. And I'm gonna give you an example of that. Just say, for instance, Leo rising, you're in a business and you're trying to get your business out, more marketing. This is also for Aries rising too, because third house is for marketing. You need to review the platforms that you're using to get your business, social media areas. Do you need to get a website? Do you need to start doing seminars? How you promote yourself and whatever it is that you're trying to get out to the masses, Leo rising, because the 11th house governs the masses. This is the world. So reassessing your technology with regards to, is it reaching the masses? Okay. Virgo rising, this is going to be in your 10th house. And that's the house of your career. It's also the house of your public image. Your status in the community is here. Your father is here. Your actual father and authority figures are here. So Mercury retrograde in here could bring back a career opportunity or a career goal that you had for yourself a while back. So if you have an opportunity career-wise that comes back around, I would strongly suggest that you reconsider it. If you have a career goal that you kind of put on the back burner for whatever reason, this will be a great time for you to start looking at that career goal again. And this is also the house of the titles that we wear in our public standing. Just making sure that we're still presenting ourselves well to the general public. You know, what's your standing in the community? For example, this may be someone, let's say, that is the president of the homeowners association. Okay, president of the homeowners association, and you're just trying to figure out whether you want to continue on with this title of president of the homeowners association. I just use that as an example, so you get what I understand, what I'm saying. The titles that we wear, am I still aligning with, this image that I'm putting out into the world. Now, this will be excellent for you if you are in the workforce, in corporate America, reconnecting with higher ups, because this is the house of authority figures. Virgo rising, to go in and just have a discussion with your CEOs, your managers, supervisors, and just doing a check-in to find out if, what you're doing in the company is appreciated. Is there anything else that you could do to improve yourself? What do I need to do to climb the corporate ladder or to move up within the company? Just a review of your work performance and pointing out things that you are good at, and then maybe areas that you are struggling in. This is excellent time to do that. Okay? So that's Virgo rising. Libra rising, this is Mercury retrograde is going to be in your 9th house. So during this time, this is all about higher education. And don't just limit it to, when you hear higher education, you just strictly mean college. This is any type of course of study that you would like to do. This is also going to be an energy around long distance travel. Now, long distance travel now is passport travel. Okay, anything that requires a passport. This is also the house of our religious beliefs, how we see the world is here. Our philosophy of life, what we believe to be true of the world. And this is also the house of the law. So this could look like long distance travel opportunities come back up for you. So if you have been thinking about going on a trip, taking that first trip to another country or whatever it is, you will definitely, that will start to really be on the forefront of your mind at this time. Would I suggest that you go on this trip? Again, I don't like for you to shut your life down because of a Mercury retrograde. Again, you just have to plan it really, really well. But if you can wait, this is excellent for the planning stages of that long distance trip. This is also an energy that could interfere with any type of educational pursuit that you're trying to do for yourself. So if you are currently a student and you're having challenges with the progression of your area of study, and that could look like maybe financial aid has stalled, or maybe the classes that you wanted to take are not being offered at this time, that could come up for you. There's really nothing that you can do about it. I would just strongly suggest to you, don't fight it. Some things you just have to surrender to, and then wait for this period to pass, and it should be okay. Now, if you are deciding that you want to go back to school, if you could wait, I would suggest waiting, because I just feel like trying to pursue your new course of study, that would be the best thing for you. Now, this could also, because this is the house of religion, some of you are going to be reassessing your faith and your religious beliefs. And it ain't nothing wrong with you questioning whether or not your religious beliefs still align with you. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know why people feel like they can't question religion. Whatever, I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, so it may come up that you are questioning your religious beliefs and what you believe in. Do they still align with you? Do you want to go in a different direction? Nothing wrong with that at all. And also, if anyone has a legal proceeding going on, you may hear something with regards to this legal proceeding. Now, do not initiate a legal proceeding at this time. If you are in the middle of one, you're just in the middle of it. But do not, any of you, initiate any legal proceeding, lawsuits, suing anybody. I promise you this is not going to turn out the way you want it to. So again, if you're one of those that can wait, I would say wait. Again, I don't believe in putting life on hold, but certain things I'm just not going to do under a Mercury retrograde. And when it comes to the law, suing people, doing all of this, I would not tell you to do that right now. Just wait if you can, Libra rising. And you're another one to be mindful of contract signing. Okay, so Scorpio rising. This is going to be in your 8th house. And funny enough, Scorpio governs the 8th house. So Scorpio knows this house and how this house works. That's one benefit to the Mercury retrograde for them. Now, 8th house. This is the house of shared resources. We call this the house of other people's money. Okay? So this is the house of the resources and finances and the business connection you do with another person or another entity. This is the house of inheritances, taxes, loans, insurance, stuff like that. Your partner's resources are here. So partners could look like spouses, business partners, people that you are intimately connected with. This is their resources and their money and how it benefits you. And this is also the house of sex and intimacy. Strange, huh? So anyway, oh, do I need to stop? Does anybody have a question? Anybody have a question? I'm going to pause right there because I need to do something real quick. So if you have a question, just put it in the thing and I'll be right back. Okay. All right, I'm back. Okay. So, who did I stop with? All right, Scorpio rising. That's who I stopped with. Okay. So Scorpio rising. How this Mercury retrograde could look for you is this could bring back situations or circumstances around taxes, inheritances, anything that you share with another person. This could bring back some attention to that. So if you're in business with someone or you are married to someone, this could come up again, and conversations need to be had with regards to people you share your money with. Okay? Now, this is a house of sex and intimacy. So you may be hearing from your partner that y'all ain't having enough sex. Okay? I don't know how else to say it. You may be hearing from your partner that you're not having enough sex or something is lacking in the bedroom. And because sex and intimacy are two different things, now it may be about sex, but it also could really be about intimacy. that your partner is not feeling connected to you. So that may come up for you, Scorpio rising. Resources and finances, again, that you share with another person. Because then there may be something come up that you are missing that has been withheld from you during this time. I would strongly suggest that if you have these types of connections and business together with someone, don't go off signing anything right now with them. Don't go into business with anyone right now. Don't make any agreements with anyone right now. Don't be combining your money with anyone right now, because this is just really not the most supportive energy for you to be doing that. Now, how this could work for you is refinancing. Okay, this is how this could work for you, which I think this is excellent for you. If you need to refinance something, let's just say, for instance, you want to refinance your house. This is great for that type of thing. You want to refinance a loan with the bank, refinance your house, refinance your car. This would be great for if you wanted to call your credit card company and renegotiate a lower interest rate, renegotiate a lower insurance premium on your car. This is great for that because, again, it's the redoing of something. So that will support you in that. Reconnecting with your partner, as I do believe this is going to be a conversation had about this sex and this intimacy with you. But reconnecting with your partner, finding time for your partner. And like I said before, it may not even be just sex. It's just the partner, or this may actually be you not feeling connected with the other person, and they want to bring that back. So let's start dating our partner again. Would be good for that. And now taxes, this could go either way. You may hear something about your taxes. Could be an audit, or could be you getting a refund that you didn't expect. Let's just hope it's just a refund you didn't expect. But that is what's going on with Scorpio rising. Sagittarius rising, this is for you, Sandra. And this is going to be in your 7th house. The 7th house is the house of partnerships. Primarily marriage is here. Our one-on-one relationships that we go into with another person. These are our intimate connections. Even though the 11th house is our house of friends, I put our best friends in the 7th house because that's a different type of friendship. So that this is also the house of open enemies, and legal affairs are also here too. So for Sagittarius rising, because this is the house of partnerships, you're another one that will probably have an X or 2 or 5 or 6 show back up again. I'll just tell you, Sagittarius rising, you are on somebody's mind. So even if they don't make themselves known, just best believe you got an X out there that's thinking about you. Will that person reach out? Could be, because this is the 7th house of partnerships. So you could be hearing from an ex. You may be thinking about an ex. If you are currently in a relationship, I strongly suggest that you don't reach out to an ex, but it is what it is. If that does happen for you and the person shows up, again, like Gemini, that's the universe questioning whether or not you gonna do this again. And at the end of the day, it's your choice what you do with it. I'm just telling you, I'm just the messenger. But that could come up for you. Now, this also could come up, this could bring up old issues in your relationship. So this could go back to some issues that you may have had with your partner. Could come, you may have to deal with that. This is the communication with your partner, could be just totally off. So you got to be very mindful of how you communicate with your partner at this time. And again, remember, this could be romantic, business, or friendships. Those type of partnership relationships. So just being mindful of the communication within your relationship. Now, the good part of this is this is an opportunity to renew the situation, to renew the the relationship. So this will support you in finding the magic or finding the love again with your partner. But first, we got to weed through the communication thing. Now, you're another one. If you are in the midst of a legal affair, um, try to keep the lines of communication open with that. You're another one. Don't initiate if you're in the middle of it. You're just in the middle of it. But if you please don't initiate any type of legal proceedings right now. This would just not be a good idea for that. And this is also the house of open enemies. And these are, open enemies are the people we know don't like us. Just, it's plain and simple. We know don't like us. They could probably show up, but girl, I don't give a fuck about people like that. Anyway, so that's you, Sagittarius rising. Capricorn rising, this will be in the 6th house. This is the house of health and fitness. This is the house of your work environment. This is the people that we work with, around, for, and work under us, and the dynamic of how we work. This is the house of service, being of service to others. And if I'm not mistaken, this is also the house of small pets. So this could definitely look like, for you, Capricorn rising, a reappearance of a health issue. Okay? So this is going to, and even if it's not a health issue per se, the thought that you need to address your health could be in the forefront of your mind. And when I say health, I mean mental and physical health. So this could, again, this could bring up an old medical issue for you, could return. Now, this could also be, and I've seen this happen before, going in for a medical test and either the test didn't work and you have to redo it, or the test results are incorrect. So just be mindful, and you might need to start getting a second opinion on stuff during this time, or if you can just kind of wait, because that may be an issue with you. But definitely re-looking at your health and how you're taking care of your body is important for you. This is your diet. And this is also the foods that we eat. So this could play out with, and I think this is the positive part of this, you may need to start to rethink your current eating style, the foods that you consume. So this could look like a decision to change how you eat. So for example, you decide that you want to become a vegetarian or a vegan or a pescatarian, or you want to eliminate certain foods from your diet. This is a total reworking of your health and fitness, and how you go about taking care of your body is important. Now, because this is the house of our work environment, also, this is confusion at the workplace. This could be confusion at the workplace for you. Communication is off. Nothing is going to be working in that office. So you probably going to have a lot of breakdowns with your computer, or with the printer, with the fax machine, just all kinds of melee at the office. But typically, this could be a lot of communication breakdown with you and your coworkers, or the people that work for you, or whatever. You may actually see someone leaving. Someone may actually leave your work environment. So that could look like a coworker or a higher up, a manager, or hell, you might be leaving. I think with you, you may be rethinking whether or not this whole dynamic of this job is for you, Capricorn rising, and how you fit here, and whether or not you're going to stay here. Now, this could also bring a work opportunity that kind of bypassed you. So you might be hearing from someone that wants you to come back and interview again, or you may hear about a position that you wanted some time ago may come back up and you're going to re-interview for that. So that could be very beneficial for you. If that desire to get a pet comes back around, go ahead and buy the pet. Do not buy this pet if this is something brand new you thought about, because pet probably not going to make it. I hate to be negative, but this ain't going to work out with this pet. However, if this is something that you've been planning for and you've already wanted to do, go ahead and get you a pet. And that's what's going on for you, Capricorn rising. Aquarius rising, this is going to be in the 5th house, my favorite house of the zodiac. This is the house of fun, joy. Our children are in this house. Procreation and fertility are in this house. Our self-expression is here. What we take a risk on is his. This is the gambling house. So this is gambling, and I put the stock market in here. So the stock market could be in the 5th or the 8th, but I put the stock market here, and our dating life is here, and love affairs and romance is here. So for Aquarius rising, you are another one that will probably hear back from people you've dated before. Because listen, this 5th house, the 7th house is like the real relationship house. This is where we really are in a relationship. But the 7th house is a dating house. So honestly, this is the house where we have just love affairs and we just having sex for fun. This is the house right here. So your friends with benefits is in this house. So this may be those people coming back for another role in the hay. I'd say go for it. Because this is not the connection. We ain't trying. But I mean, if you wanted to, but again, you're going to be one of those that has a lot of people that probably come back from your dating life. With regards to your children, now, depending on the ages of your children, there may be a little bit of friction with the kids during this period. And like I said, just depending on the age of the child is going to determine what the friction is, especially by ways of communication with your kids. So just know that because this is the house of fertility, because I feel like somebody is out there in the process of an adoption or something. Okay, you may actually hear about an adoption or something that comes back around, an opportunity for a surrogate or something to that effect. I just feel like somebody is going to actually get some news about being pregnant, and it's just going to come as a surprise. So I don't know if that's you or somebody around you with regards to pregnancy or to some effect. Maybe some of you were trying to adopt and that fell through, and now we have an opportunity for you to do it again, and that comes back around. But something with kids, something with that. Now, creative projects, Aquarius rising, are good for you going back to creative projects that did not get off the ground, and you're able to look at them differently and rework them and push them out to look differently. The stock market and gambling, listen, I don't too much know about the stock market and gambling. Again, if you want to dabble in that, I always say don't invest more than you're willing to lose. So that's up to you how you want to handle that. And last but not least, we have Pisces rising. And this is going to be in the 4th house. 4th house is the house of home and family, real estate. This is the family that we were born into, the family that we come from. Our mother is in this house. Okay. Or, sometimes they say the parent that was the most nurturing, but technically it's the mother is in this house. Our inner security and our foundation. This is where, when we growing up, this is where we learn everything about the world. We get our religion from here, from in the family. We get our political beliefs in the family. We get our understanding of how the world works in this house as a child. So this is where our foundation and inner securities are. So this could look like Mercury retrograde. Um, Redecorating is excellent for this. So those of you that want to redecorate, this is excellent time for you to redecorate. um, Renovations. Okay. Now, on the flip side, I definitely would strongly suggest that you not try to go and buy a house right now. If you're in the process, or if this was something that you started before, absolutely, just move forward with it. But you should only be doing the research part of home buying or real estate buying at the time. Just doing research, not purchasing anything. Because it's a contract. So, of course, we talked about contracts and just not being clear on that. But researching is excellent for this. Now, this could actually bring up any type of old issues within your family. And when I say within your family, that could be, like I said, your family you came from or your current family. So you may have some issues that, arise again within the family dynamic that need to be addressed, and you thought that they were addressed. And this could just basically be miscommunication within your family, with your family members, and people just not understanding what is going on within the family. This could also look like, because we learn everything in this house, and some things we hold on to, and as we become adults, we find out that that really doesn't resonate with us anymore. You start to rethink about things that you learned in childhood and you're still holding on to, and you just don't believe in anymore. So that could come up, and that could cause some friction within your family, because it's a big deal. Like if, for example, you decide, you grew up Baptist, and now you want to be a Buddhist. That's a big deal. So they don't understand what direction you're going in, but it could do that. But renovations, remodeling are excellent for this energy. And because it's the fourth house, somebody may be returning home or moving back in with you, or you may have to move back in with someone. Somebody's coming home, though, in a sense. Maybe a family member is coming home from college or coming home from the military for some whatever reason. But the reshuffling of the dynamics in your family and possibly in your actual home um, could be something in the fourth house for you. But definitely talking with the family, reconnecting with the family is great. This is ideal for family reunion. Pisces rising. This is ideal for family reunion. So if you can in some way get a reunion type thing going on with your family, this is going to be excellent for y'all. For those family members that you have not seen in a while. That's how you can use this energy in the fourth house. And guess what? That is it. That is how the Mercury retrograde is going to affect everyone on a collective level and on an individual level. And at this point, does anyone have any questions? Because we've gone through the entire zodiac. And I know I breezed through it. So if you have any questions, you need me to go back real quick and explain something to you, or you have a question about what I've said in any particular area, now's your chance to ask. Any questions? Oh no. No questions? Oh, I guess I did my job. Okay. Well, since there are no. Okay, so since we don't have any questions, I am going to end this live. I thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I hope that I have given you some helpful information to help you navigate through this Mercury retrograde and know that it does not have to be the negative thing that is always attached to it. It actually can be a beneficial, positive time period. The thing of it is, you just want to learn how to work with the energy. For me, there is no such thing in astrology that is the energy is just negative. Now, there are things that are absolutely challenging. Yes, they are. But once you learn what the energy is, you start to learn how to work with it. And then once you learn how to work with it, you learn how to make it work for you. So it's there to teach you a lesson and to assist you. But if you're trying to work against it, here's the deal. The universe is all knowing and all powerful. You will never win. You will never win trying to go toe to toe with the universe. It is futile for you to try to do that, and it does not make sense. However, the universe does want you to learn a lesson and does want to work with you. So working with it is excellent. And sometimes you just actually working with it means just surrendering to it and trusting the process, trusting that the universe has your best interest at heart, and that you trust that the best outcome is going to come, is going to be there for you. So, again, if there's no questions about the Mercury retrograde and how it will affect you individually, um, you can get a personal reading with me. And I've done some readings for some people on here, and I must say that I've had a wonderful time reading with them, and we discovered some new things and what is coming up for them and how they can make this work for them. So if you want a personal reading with me, you can inbox me here on Facebook, and we can set aside a time to sit and go over your astrological chart, go over your birth chart and your transit chart, and point out some things that answer some questions for me. I find a lot of people, when they get readings with me and we start going over certain things in their birth chart, wow, this is why I do this. This is why I react like this, or this is why I have these experiences like this that keep coming up. And so they, because you can change that. I don't, I don't believe that, you know, we are destined to stay the same. We're not supposed to. We're supposed to evolve and change. So when you start to identify your pathology and the things that you attract to you, you start to be able to change that and turn that around. And then we start to look at your transit chart, which is what is currently happening with you now. And then they discover, like, wow, this is why this is happening. And you're like, yeah, this is why this is happening. However, you can change that. You can manipulate that and make that work for you. It's an amazing art. I wish people would study it a little bit more, because it's amazing. I don't even know. It's so much to this that I could spend the rest of my life studying this and still would not know everything, because it's the knowledge of it is just so vast, and it changes with the individual person. You don't realize how much it does. I mean, again, I can read 10 different Aries, and they're going to be 10 different dynamics with that person, with those 10 individuals. And it's just amazing that they're not going to have the same experience, and it's all based on the time that they were born. And they can be all born on the same day, but if they're born at different times, they're going to all have different experiences. Will they have some similarities in their life? Will they have some similar themes in their life? Yes. But their experiences and how they handle the experience, which is the most important thing, is going to be very, very different with each person. And the art of astrology is there to help you learn about yourselves and evolve. You never stay the same. It is a progression. It's a learning thing. And it's funny because we have this thing we call the big three. So it's your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. And crazy enough, you don't stay your sun sign. You're supposed to evolve into your rising sign and evolve into your moon sign. You're supposed to become those people and that sign and what it represents at certain points in your life. That's why sometimes you feel disconnected with being a Sagittarius sun. And then you're like, I feel more like an Aquarius or something. Well, that may be because you may have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, or you may be Aquarius rising, but you're fulfilling what you're supposed to fulfill by moving into those different zodiacs in your chart and living out what you're supposed to live out. You know what? I'm rambling on. I keep saying I'm going to end this thing, but I keep rambling on. But anyway, if there's no questions, I'm going to end this live. Again, if you want to do a personal reading with me, just inbox me and we will get you set up for that. I appreciate you taking out time to view this video. I will leave it up. And if you have any questions, then let me know. But other than that, I want you guys to have a great weekend and a great Memorial Day. And I will talk to you a little bit later. Bye-bye.